Welcome back to the Knock-On Effect, the rugby show where we say what the pundits won't. The Champions Cup is back. The prestige, the honour, the jeopardy, the pinnacle of European rugby. This should be a happy time, right? Will Munster travel to Bath and left battered and bruised? In today's video, we'll look back at a handful of the games and answer the question, are the fans overreacting? So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Right, so first we're going to start off with the most positive game of the weekend. Ulster are in flying form. I said at the end of last season that the Challenge Cup would do them the world of good. One full season where Richie Murphy can continue to build his squad without the pressure of being in the Champions Cup. They struggled last year against teams such as Toulouse, but this season, their opening fixture against Racing was exactly what they needed. Now, Racing aren't the team they once were. I mean, they're currently 11th in the top 14, but they were certainly a decent obstacle, especially in the first half. 14-7 at half time would have fooled you into believing that this one was going to be close. But as time went on, Ulster went from strength to strength. They wore Racing down. Physical and relentless carries from Augustus, Tom Stewart and McCann sucked the Frenchmen in, and if they didn't concede through picking goals or Ulster's impressive maul game, the likes of Jacob Stockdale or Zach Ward were more than ready to punish them out wide thanks to James Hume and Jude Postlewaite's phenomenal hands and link-up play in the midfield. 9 tries in total for the Ulstermen, and a man of the match performance from Zach Ward is a dream start to the Challenge Cup for Ulster. 61-7 was the final score, and it was very, very impressive. In particular, the Ulster backline is humming. Nathan Doak, James Hume, Jude Postlewaite, Rob Balakoon, Zach Ward and Jacob Stockdale have all stood out in different times over this season so far. Young Jack Murphy is progressing nicely, and with a couple more seasons like this, with him building, he'll be in contention for the Ireland squad. We also got our first look at Angus Bell in an Ulster jersey, who will surely only add to their already growing list of solid ball carriers in the pack. It's an exciting time up north. Next up, let's take a look at the Connacht match. They coughed up a 21-point half-time lead against the Ospreys. Stuart Lancaster's men are building a project that has been hit and miss this season. The first half, everything went right. Sean Jansen had the big carries, Ben Murphy drove them around the park, and Sean Naughton kept the scoreboard ticking over. The second half, however, saw the Ospreys' revival, and they built momentum with try after try in what was a spectacular performance. Bundyaki will be incredibly disappointed with his part to play, as he conceded a penalty for running ahead of the kicker, which the Ospreys capitalised on with a tap and go and try. Should Connacht fans be pissed off? Yes. But hold your judgments until you see a larger sample size of games. Can you see progression? Are you making the correct signings? Can you see improvements week on week in structure and game plans? Next, we'll move on to Leinster. The Harlequins were without many of their starters, Marcus Smith and Cunningham South to name but a few. But regardless, this is a Leinster team that absolutely hockeyed the Harlequins last year. They were a strong favourite heading into this one, and we saw the return of their star-studded first team lineup for pretty much the first time this season, bar the front row. But after the autumn series, you might even call into question who Leinster's starting front row should be. Regardless, Paddy McCarthy and Thomas Clarkson slotted in at home into this side. It was great to see Paddy's older brother Joe McCarthy back from injury. By God has he been missed both for Leinster and Ireland. 24-14 at half time. Jordan Larmour had his pick of the tries thanks to an audacious crossfield from Prendergast. Kieran Frawley sealing the bonus point win in the first 40 minutes. It wasn't all plain sailing, however. Leinster will be particularly annoyed by conceding a try from a move off the top of a line-out just before half-time. Josh van der Fleer, Doris and Tommy O'Brien got worked over well by a well-timed Harlequins trick play for what was ultimately a soft try. The likes you just didn't see Leinster conceding last season. The second half, however, similar to the Ulster match, Leinster wore the Harlequins down. It was much more classic Leinster in the second 40. Sucked the defence in with big punchy carries and flashed the ball out wide to kill off the game. We also got our first look at Reiko Ione here, who came on for Gary Ringrose in the centre. He's going to add some serious pedigree and experience, especially at a time where level heads will prevail. The result was exactly what the doctor ordered for Leinster. They look to build on this as the weeks come closer to the big clash against Munster on the 27th. Speaking of Munster, let's get into it. Munster vs Bath. Fuck me, I really want to forget this match, but such is life. I'll start with my biggest positive of the game. The rotation players this year are really stepping up. For the Leinster match in Croke Park, I saw Casey out and Coughlin starting, and I was worried, but we all know how that one ended. I was the same here when I saw Crowley out and Hanrahan starting, but I thought it was JJ's best performance in a Munster jersey this season. Tadhg Beirne's yellow card really cost us. Did I think it was harsh? Yes. Can I see how the ref was left with no other choice? Yes. I think Beirne needs to be careful now. He did his reputation no good whatsoever over the autumn series, and I don't know whether that played a factor here, but there is a magnifying glass on Irish rugby's discipline at the moment, and we need to be squeaky clean. The second point is we should have done a lot better despite the card. The average a team concedes with a player in the bin is 7 points. We coughed up 21 and a further try as Beirne just came back onto the field. Unfortunately, that was the game, dead and buried after 20 minutes. Did we see Munster fight back and at least go down swinging? Sure. Edwin Adogbo showed his physicality to get us on the score sheet. Craig Casey's quick thinking added a vital try before the break, but above all else, you have to take your hat off to Bath. They absolutely blitzed us during the yellow card period, and in the second 40 minutes, they professionally strangled the game. Their defence was phenomenal, and Munster were second best in every aspect. Which leads us to the question, are the fans overreacting? So let's talk about it. Here's my take, and I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm burnt out. For no other reason other than the teams I follow keep fucking losing. I've seen a lot of chat online both ways. Some people cursing out Munster's performance, and others either downplaying the result or flat out accusing people of being plastic fans for voicing concerns. So I wanted to have this chat because it's what this channel is about. It's a fan's perspective. We're the rugby show where we say what the pundits won't. That's not a dig at pundits, it's just our niche. And right now, here's my perspective. I'm struggling to watch any sport with any enthusiasm, I'll be honest. Ireland are just off the back of a subpar Autumn Nation series. Munster just got beaten emphatically a week after losing a top of the table URC clash to the Stormers. And even when I turn on the fucking soccer, Liverpool are in utter turmoil. Do I think the fans are overreacting? No, not really. Every fan is entitled to their opinion. Are you a plastic fan for criticising your team when they perform badly? No. Now, should Munster fans be calling for players and coaches' heads? Abso-fucking-lutely not. When I saw our draw for this year's Champions Cup, I wasn't optimistic. I thought we'd be doing incredibly well to progress onto the next stage. Clayton McMillan is what, 5 months in the country? It would be foolish to expect him to turn the club around in that length of time. Was I hopeful for a better performance against Bath? Of course. Is getting blown away in the first 20 minutes unacceptable for a team like Munster? Yes. But the way I see it, McMillan's reign with Munster is only just beginning. We are a work in progress. Hopefully the lads will take their licks from this game and take some serious learning lessons to ensure that there is never going to be a repeat of this kind of performance. Next week against Gloucester will be seriously telling, and fingers crossed we will really see a lot of resilience for Munster to bounce back and stop a 3-match skid. I'll leave you with this. Munster and Connacht have 2 new head coaches. They need the breathing space to be able to bring these teams on. Richie Murphy has been allowed that time up north, and look what he's been able to do. You can be critical of your team's bad performances, you don't have to bury your heads in the sand, but above all else, now is the time to really support your team. We'll be back over the weekend with more coverage of round 2 with the Champions and Challenge Cup games. Mark your calendars as well, we have something big planned for Monday the 22nd of December at 4:30 PM, so get ready. As always, cheers for watching, catch you at the next one.